in the Bronx. Brooklyn's broken out in fights. There's a traffic jam in Harlem that's backed up to Jackson Heights. There's a scout troop short a child. Cruise ships do and I go wild. Car 54, where are you?
Go ahead. A green convertible with wire wheels. Captain Block, the rookies are here.
Men, you're about to start your on-duty training. For 2 weeks, you'll accompany seasoned veterans on their patrols. Be free to ask questions. Watch them in the performance of their duties.
Lieutenant?
Captain Block, Lieutenant Chrisman, Personnel Training Bureau.
How do you do? Men, I want to welcome you to the 53rd Precinct. Now, the police officers I'm going to assign you to are all crack men.
Excuse me, Captain, but I've already made out the assignments.
But I've always...
There's been a change in procedure. I've studied your personnel carefully, Captain, and I'm sure I'll place our future police officers with the men who will benefit them most.
Of course.
Thank you. Williams, you're assigned to ride in car 38 with Officers Steinmetz and Dubrow.
They're dressing to go on duty. You'll find them up in the locker room. You'll learn a lot from them.
Kramer, you'll work with Police Clerk Antonucci.
He's at his desk in the back room. He's a good man.
Garfield, you'll ride in car 46 with Officers Wallace and O'Hara.
They're going on duty in just a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Corrigan, Reginald Corrigan. Does the name mean anything to you, Captain?
Corrigan?
If you read the police news, you'd know he graduated with the highest marks ever recorded at the police academy. Harvard graduate, Phi Beta Kappa.
Really? Well, congratulations, Corrigan.
Thank you, sir. Corrigan, you're riding in car 54 with Officers Toody and Muldoon.
You'll find them both. Muldoon?
Yes, according to our record.
Excuse me. Would you please wait in the squad room?
Yes, sir.
Now, Lieutenant, about Toody and Muldoon.
But I don't understand, Captain. According to my records...
I'm sorry, Lieutenant, but you'll have to assign him to a different team.
Why? Haven't you ever assigned a rookie to Toody and Muldoon?
Just once, 6 years ago.
What happened?
He joined the fire department. I have other teams that Corrigan could be just...
According to my research, Captain, car 54 is the only place for a man like Corrigan.
But he's so young.
Captain Block, we're testing a new procedure of personnel selection, which the Chief of Training has been kind enough to let me call the Cushman Plan.
The Cushman Plan?
Instead of leaving the selection of patrol car partners to you men at the police precinct level, the Cushman Plan studies the background of each individual and matches partners who have the same intellectual capacity and taste.
And you think Toody and Muldoon?
Oh, I'm only talking about Muldoon, Captain. I know Toody's intellectual capacity. I've seen the record he hung up at the police academy. It caused a reorganization of the entire training program.
I know.
Muldoon, on the other hand, like Corrigan, is a college graduate. He was top man of his class at the academy. They have similar tastes. They talk the same language. They'll keep each other inspired, which makes for greater efficiency.
You mean if it works out, Muldoon and Corrigan will be a permanent team?
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it as the first shining example of the Cushman Plan.
But Toody and Muldoon have been partners for 9 years.
I know. It's probably the most colossal mismatch in police history. Poor Muldoon. 9 years in the same patrol car with a clod who probably never opens his mouth.
I hope you understand this, Francis. That's why they're so nonchalant. They get up there so nonchalant, like the other team just gives up. You ever see anybody as nonchalant as Mickey Mantle? Oh, Roger Maris, he's nonchalant too. But he's not as nonchalant as Mickey Mantle. Oh, don't get me wrong, he's nonchalant enough. He's more nonchalant than Tony Kubek. And Tony Kubek, he's no slouch at being nonchalant. You know who else is nonchalant? Yogi Berra. Well, sometimes he's too nonchalant. The bat slips out of his hand. I had a cousin, Arnold, and he played the minor leagues. And you know what his downfall was? He wasn't naturally nonchalant. Oh, he could be nonchalant enough, but he had to drink a lot. Now, let me tell you something, Francis. When you're drinking and you're sprawled across that third base, you're not fooling anybody. The fans knew it. They knew he wasn't just naturally nonchalant. You can't fool those baseball fans. They see a guy sprawled across a bag with his mouth open. They knew he just wasn't being nonchalant. Ooh, 24. He's nonchalant, too. I could go as far as say that he's more nonchalant than Mickey Mantle. And you know how I feel about Mickey Mantle being nonchalant. I never saw anybody as nonchalant as Mickey Mantle. Now, you take Moose Scout. He looks like the most nonchalant of all. But personally, I don't think he's nonchalant. I think he's just sleepy.
Gosh, Officer Wallace, I think I learned more from riding and listening to you and Officer O'Hara than I learned in my whole life.
Oh, nonsense, son. Just a couple of old cops gabbing away. You're a good listener. You'll go far, Garfield.
Thank you, sir.
Be back in a minute. Come on, go down to the squad room. We'll show you how to make out our dailies. Oh, it certainly is a pleasure having someone in the car to talk to besides O'Hara for change.
Chief Francis, I wish we had a little rookie all our own.
Who needs a rookie? All they do is jabber away all day asking stupid questions. And you know, when I'm on duty, I don't like to talk.
Yeah, I gotta do most of the talking.
Yeah, that's enough for me.
Oh, that's another thing, Francis.
What?
When I talk to you, somehow I get the feeling that you're not listening.
I listen to every word you say.
Well, if you listen to every word I say, what did I talk about today?
Today? Did you say something today?
Of course I did.
Oh, now I remember. You spent the whole day describing how wearing woolen underwear makes you sneeze.
That was yesterday.
Oh, of course.
You see what I mean, Francis? If we only had a rookie in a car that I could talk to, there's so much that I could tell him. There's so much that I could teach him.
Ben,
Yes, sir.
this is police trainee Corrigan. Starting tomorrow morning, he's riding with you.
Yes, sir.
Corrigan just got out of the police academy.
Good old police academy. Say, is Lieutenant Foster still teaching there?
Oh, yes, still there.
I guess he never had the nerve to do it.
The nerve to do what?
He said if I graduated, he'd kill himself.
That job for me.
We'll join them first thing in the morning.
We shove off at 8. A shove off. That's police talk for starting to work.
Never mind, Toody.
Just doing my duty, sir. I want to teach him everything I know.
He knew that much the day he left kindergarten.
Looks like a pretty nice kid.
They're all nice kids. But nice kids don't have any place in a patrol car with officers who have work to do.
See, Francis, won't it be great to have someone to talk to? Oh, no offense, Francis. What we start off the conversation with? I guess baseball. Maybe pro football. Maybe a discussion on sports cars. That should fill in the first day nicely.
Gunther, aren't you planning on talking to him about police work?
Well, of course, but not while we're on duty.
Oh, of course not.
Francis,
What?
while I'm talking to this Corrigan, feel free to join in.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't want you to feel left out.
I'd just as soon.
(8:02 a.m.) You see, you fill that in where it says, began tour of duty. Give exact time.
I see.
Well, so much for police work. Now, say, how about those Yankees? Pretty nonchalant team, aren't they?
Sorry, I never got interested in baseball.
No? Well, how about football? You think the Green Bay Packers are going to do it again?
I don't know.
How about basketball? You know anything about basketball?
Not really.
I'll tell you what. You start any subject. I'll keep the ball rolling.
I'm sorry, I'm not much of a conversationalist.
Oh, you aren't?
No, I sort of go along with Voltaire when he said, Il ne se servent de la pensée que pour autoriser les injustices.
Et n'emploie les paroles que pour déguiser leurs pensées.
Oh, you're familiar with Voltaire's dialogues.
Oh, I haven't really looked at them since I got out of college.
Officer Muldoon, do you hold with the theory that Voltaire based many of his essays on the fundamentals laid down by Montaigne?
Yes, but I don't think he consciously did it. After all, they were both confronted by the same problem, the growing tendency towards materialism.
Wouldn't it be funny if they were all written by the same person?
It's like the Baconian theory of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good one.
Actually, the struggle by the philosophers against materialism really never has stopped, has it?
No, never. What was it Cicero said?
What was it?
Yeah, what was it?
Oh, yes. O tempora, o mores.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Well, I think that the sad state that modern poetry is in is largely due to the fact that they have overlooked this facet.
How true. Except for a few avant-garde poets, they're just aping the 19th century romanticists.
Yes, they're crying out in the wilderness, but what are they saying?
Sing. Do you want to know how this radio works?
Oh, thank you. I took a course in advanced electronics.
What's that got to do with radio?
Actually, true nonconformity really isn't dead, Corrigan. Look at your off-Broadway theater, your abstract painters, your non-objective sculptors.
Yes, and especially in the field of architectural design, where they're blazing new frontiers.
Hold it. Do you have your safety on your revolver? A lot of rookies forget to do that, you know. And I got a way of checking.
It's on. Oh, have you seen the new Guggenheim Museum designed by Frank Lloyd Wright?
Oh, it's magnificent. He makes the rest of American architectural design seem prehistoric.
His use of ramps gives it such a spaciousness.
Speaking of architectural design,
Yes?
it takes a heap of living to make a home.
The very starkness of the interior sets off the paintings to their best advantage.
I always say that. Takes a heap of living to make a home.
Say, Reggie, did you see the Japanese home on display at the Modern Museum of Art?
Oh, its simplicity of line.
What purity of form.
It takes a heap of Japanese living to make a Japanese home.
Well, see, Francis, before I forget, you know, I bought Leonard Bernstein's recording of the Manfred Overture.
It's magnificent. Bernstein's approach is contemporary, but its very energy and tension make it the cyclical symphony it is.
Oh, what overtones he gives it. What long, brooding lines.
What are you guys talking about now?
Leonard Bernstein.
You say that like you don't think I know who Leonard Bernstein is.
Gunther.
I know who he is. I see him on television.
I know.
He's a band leader.
Bernstein has such a flair.
Bernstein's incomparable.
He's superb.
What's so superb about Leonard Bernstein? Personally, I like a band leader who sings along with band, like Vaughn Monroe, with that racing with the moon.
All right, Gunther.
Give me a band leader who can do more than shake a stick and wave his hair. Leonard Bernstein. Did you ever see him help out his boys and play on a washboard like Spike Jones?
Gunther, will you stop?
Officer Toody, now you'll have to admit that Leonard Bernstein has done some pretty wonderful things with the New York Philharmonic.
Who could help but be a good band leader with the New York Philharmonic? They got 110 musicians. Law of averages, if 70 of them play right, they make him look good. Now you take Muggsy Spaniard and his 1605. He's only got 5 musicians. If one of them hit a clinker, Muggsy looks like a bum.
Gunther, we're discussing something else.
Well, why don't we do something all 3 of us can do? Let's all sing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
How about 5 for 2, eyes are blue? I sing a good tenor.
Well, I'm not very familiar with that one. Why don't we sing something we all know? A Tchaikovsky 6.
I can't agree with you, Reggie.
But Francis, according to Huxley, living matter always arises by the agency of pre-existing living matter.
But how do you reconcile this with Newton's theory
Excuse me,
that...
Francis, have you got room for Schnauzer?
Schnauzer?
Yeah, in your car. Tonight's our night for bowling.
Oh, I'm going to Carnegie Hall tonight.
Carnegie Hall? How many alleys have they got?
Carnegie Hall. Corrigan and I are going to hear the Budapest String Quartet.
Well, after the Budapest,
Well, after the concert, we're going to the Modern Museum to see the new Picasso exhibit.
after Picasso,
I'm sorry, Gunther. I'll go bowling with you next week.
We better get going, Francis. We want to get to that little French restaurant I told you about.
See you in the morning, Gunther.
Well, Toody, what time at the bowling alley tonight?
I'm not going bowling tonight.
You're not going bowling? What's the matter you're not going bowling? Are you sick?
Must I be sick not to want to go bowling tonight?
For you not to go bowling, not only must you be sick, you must be on the critical list.
Oh, brother, there's lots of people not going bowling tonight. Is the Budapest String Quartet going bowling tonight? Is Picasso going bowling tonight?
What's the Budapest String Quartet and Picasso got to do with you?
But we got a lot in common. None of us are going bowling tonight.
A simple question. He opens up a mouth.
What time is Toody meeting us at the bowling alley?
He isn't going.
Toody isn't going bowling?
I got some more bad news for you.
Bad news?
Are you ready for a shock?
What is it?
Picasso can't make it either.
I thought he was with the 31st precinct.
That's the guy.
Enough talking for one day with that Muldoon jabbering away.
Francis? Why, you told me he hardly ever says a word when you're riding around together in that patrol car.
He never does until today, till they put that wise guy rookie in there with us.
And Francis talks?
Talks. You couldn't shut him up. Why, he said more in French in one day than he said to me in English in 9 years. That's why he was so quiet all these years. He didn't have anybody to talk to.
And now he has?
You want to see him and that college boy get together. They talked in 9-syllable words. Honey, let me tell you something. In a few weeks, Muldoon is going to be giving out traffic tickets in Latin, like doctors.
Well, stop worrying. As soon as that rookie's gone, you'll both be back on the same old footing.
Oh, no. It'll never be the same. Now Muldoon thinks I'm dumb. We were partners for 9 years, and he never thought I was dumb. But I'm going to tell you how dumb he is. He still doesn't know how dumb I really am.
You're not dumb, Gunther. You just don't know too much.
Well, I'm going to. I'm not going to lose Muldoon to that smart rookie without a fight.
You never fought for my hand that hard.
Who was there to fight? All you had was girlfriends. You know I wouldn't hit a woman. Now, please, leave me alone. I got to study.
And just what are you going to study?
Who knows? But tomorrow, those two guys are going to know that they're riding with somebody who knows everything about something. I'm going to start with A. A-A-R-D-V-A-R-K.
Aardvark.
Aardvark, an African mammal of the anteater family. Okay, let those two wise guys spout off about music and architecture. The minute the subject of aardvark comes up, they're going to find out that they're riding around with someone who knows something. Aardvark.
Only a quartet like the Budapest could get such authority out of strings alone.
Weren't they marvelous? Especially Bartok's third.
Oh,
What is it?
that woman over there holding the leash.
You mean the one with the Pekingese dog?
Oh, is that a dog? I thought it was an aardvark.
Aardvark.
Yeah, that's an African mammal with a tubular
It
snout.
was in the Bartok piece that they showed their true genius.
Wasn't the Picasso exhibit the end?
Oh, it's fascinating. Following his change of style throughout his life.
That's what's so wonderful about New York. The best of all the arts right here.
I'll tell you what's wrong with New York.
What's wrong with New York?
You can't get a license to keep an aardvark.
A license to keep an aardvark.
Yeah, it measures 5 feet from its tail, and it's thick at the base, and it tapers.
Gunther, what's this preoccupation with aardvarks?
Oh, I was always interested in aardvarks.
I've been your partner for 9 years, and I've never once before ever heard you mention an aardvark.
Well, I never heard you mention Leonard Bernstein before either.
It makes a lot more sense to talk about Leonard Bernstein than it does to talk about an aardvark.
Not to an aardvark lover.
Leonard Bernstein is a great conductor.
If he's so great, can he exist on a diet consisting mainly of termites? Is Leonard Bernstein nocturnal with strong blunt claws?
Officer Toody, you mentioned termites. You know, Professor Butler of Harvard made an interesting study.
Oh, you mean his thesis in support of the Gregory theory on the evolution of insects?
Yes, wasn't it marvelous how he used the Darwin-Galapagos papers in support of his analysis?
Not only marvelous, but if you read the papers all the way through, you'll find that the Indian moth, unlike the runa,
Bolivia, bounded on the north by Brazil. Main export, tin.
Francis, if you're not doing anything later tonight, you know, there's an interesting little musical group meeting in the village.
what time do they start?
Well, they start at 10.
Did you say tin?
No, I said 10.
I thought you said tin. Tin is the principal export of Bolivia, bounded on the north by Brazil.
Officer Toody, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Is aardvark meat edible?
How do I know? That was yesterday's word. And you said about Bolivia.
No one's interested in Bolivia.
I know. No one is interested in things that I know. You don't care about aardvarks. You don't care about the poor thousands of sweating Bolivians going down to the tin mines and bringing up tin. All you want to know is about Leonard Bernstein jumping up and down Carnegie Hall.
Well, it's more important than anything about an aardvark.
Well, I like aardvarks, and I like to talk about aardvarks. Aardvarks! Aardvarks!
Toody, you and Muldoon have been together for 9 years. I sort of hate to see you break up. It's like the end of an era.
I'm sorry, Captain, but I don't belong in the same car with Muldoon. He needs a partner like that new rookie Corrigan. I've been riding around with them for a week, and all I've been doing is listening. I need a partner I can talk to, somebody who speaks my language.
Toody, are you sure you want to split up with Muldoon? Somehow, the two of you together?
Oh, Captain, let us not allow sentiment to interfere with efficiency. Don't worry, Officer Toody. I've been expecting this. According to the Cushman plan, I've already earmarked a new partner for you. One whose background and intellectual level is most compatible.
Now, let us analyze their inning. Richardson at second base and Tony Kubek at shortstop. The Yankees have the best double play combination in the American League.
Oh, brother, can't you talk about anything but baseball?
Sure. You think Notre Dame will come up with a good football team this year?
Football, baseball, can't you talk about something important?
Important. All right, important. You think Frank Sinatra's clan really broke up, or do you think they're meeting in secret?
There you go again, wasting your time with television, sports. There are big things to discuss.
Like what?
Like they're tearing down the Met.
They're tearing down the New York Mets? The new baseball team? How can they tear them down? They haven't even built them up yet.
Not the baseball team, the Metropolitan Opera House. Like Muldoon and Corrigan said, the Metropolitan Opera House was the last example of Rococo 19th century architecture left. And they're gonna tear it down, Leo.
Well, let him tear it down. Where were you and your highbrow friends when they came with those lousy bulldozers and tore down Ebbets Fields? Where were you when they tore up the dugout bench that Leo DeRocha used to sit on and call for beanballs? Shame on you, Toody. I thought you'd be the last one to desert the memory of the Dodgers.
I'm sorry, Leo. I've been listening to so many conversations for the last 2 weeks. I can't get interested in baseball.
I feel sorry for you, Toody.
Thanks, Leo. The worst thing that could happen to a guy happened to me. I'm not a highbrow. I'm not a lowbrow. I'm something new. I'm a no-brow.
I'm riding with a no-brow. That's worse than riding with an umpire.
Picasso, yes. Matisse, yes. But I draw the line at Jackson Pollock.
Francis, forget about technique. Think of his daring, his utter abandon.
Here it is, Captain. My report showing the complete success of the Cushman plan. When the commissioner reads how well I fitted Muldoon and Corrigan together...
This is a police department! This is a police department!
I'll tell you what you are. You're a bunch of bunglers.
What's going on?
What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. A guy goes into my butcher shop, he robs me, he goes out. I go out after him and yell, police, police. A police car goes right by me without stopping.
What car was that?
Car 54.
Car 54?
Yeah, Muldoon I saw, but with a stranger.
They went right by?
Right by. I ran after them for 2 blocks. They didn't even turn their heads.
53rd Precinct. An accident on Fordham Road. We'll send a patrol car. What? There was a patrol car there, and it went right by without stopping? What? It went by twice? Car 54.
Muldoon and Corrigan.
It's the 4th call we've gotten today. They've cruised by fires, street fights, holdups.
The minute they come in, I want to...
But you must admit...
Muldoon.
You must admit that only Kusevitsky could bring out the poignancy of Prokofiev's earlier works.
Muldoon.
True, Francis, but he never did capture the andante movements of Shostakovich.
Muldoon! Corrigan!
Did you want something, Captain?
Into my office. I'm shocked. You cruised right by holdups, accidents. Muldoon, what's happened to you?
Reggie, would you wait outside a minute?
Of course. But remember, we have to be at the Metropolitan Museum by 8 if we want to hear that lecture on early Egyptian art.
I know. Captain, would you get that guy off my back? Would you get him away from me? All he does is talk, talk, talk.
But Toody talked all the time, too.
I know, but Toody talked nonsense. I didn't have to listen to him. I can keep my mind on police matters. But this guy Corrigan brings up such intelligent subjects, I have to keep my mind on what he's saying. I have to keep thinking. Please, Captain, get him away from me so I can concentrate on police matters again. Please.
Now, you take the Philadelphia Phillies. As a team, they look as nonchalant as the Yankees. But that's because they all let their pants droop down so low that you can't see that their knees are knocking together. Francis.
What is it, Gunther?
Did you hear what I said?
Of course, you were explaining how woolen underwear makes you sneeze.
That's right. Now, my favorite nonchalant player of all time was Babe Herman. He was so nonchalant, he wouldn't even show up for the game. Oh, Ted Williams, he's no slouch at being nonchalant either. I'd go as far as say he's as nonchalant as Mickey Mantle, and you know how I feel about Mickey Mantle. He's nonchalant.
There's a holdup in the Bronx, Brooklyn's broken out in fights. There's a traffic jam in Harlem that's backed up to Jackson Heights. There's a scout troop short a child, cruise ships do and idle wild. Car 54, where are you?